It all began with a simple envelope, no royal seal, no official insignia, just a plain white parcel quietly delivered through the rear gates of Clarence House on a rainy evening. Inside was a handwritten letter, .com, in tone yet powerful in implication. There were no threats, no demands, only a direct, startling revelation. I believe I am the biological son of King Charles III. DNA evidence enclosed. For decades, whispers of royal affairs, secret offspring, and hidden betrayals have hovered over Buckingham Palace. While many of these tales faded into rumor, this one was backed by hard science. It wasn't the delusion of a fame seeker or an opportunist's cash grab. It was clinical, confirmed, and indisputable, a verified 99.9% DNA match to King Charles III, issued by a reputable European genetics lab. The palace was thrown into immediate crisis. Press officers were instructed to ignore media queries, internal communications were wiped, legal teams were summoned within hours. Despite efforts to suppress the story, the news leaked quickly across the globe. The timing couldn't have been worse. Charles was still finding his footing as monarch, and Queen Camilla was striving to hold on to public legitimacy. But the real shock came from the identity of the supposed heir. This wasn't some random imposter. His name was Sebastian David Kiel, born in Geneva in 1989, months after Lady Sarah Kiel's final visit to the UK. Sebastian's childhood was cloaked in mystery and quiet privilege. His birth certificate listed no father. His mother, a discreet, aristocratic woman, declined interviews and eventually moved to a secluded estate near Lausanne. From the outset, Sebastian's life was unusual. An untraceable family trust paid for an elite education, first at a prestigious Montessori school, then at a private British boarding school. Teachers recalled his exceptional poise, intellect, and an uncanny resemblance to a young Prince Charles, so much so that one even joked, "You look like you came straight out of Sandringham." After moving to London in his 20s, Sebastian didn't seek fame or status. Instead, he enrolled quietly at King's College to study international law. His lifestyle was modest but always well supported, his rent, tuition, and tailored wardrobe all covered, though he never disclosed by whom. Later investigation revealed the payments came through a shell trust linked to a law firm that once managed the Duchy of Cornwall. Over the years, sightings of Sebastian near Clarence House surfaced, always after hours, always through private entrances. Former staff claimed he was quietly ushered in and out under strict secrecy. A longtime royal driver recalled an incident where an aide warned, "If she finds out he's still in touch with Charles, it'll be war." The she, of course, was Camilla. Sebastian himself never spoke publicly, but those close to him say he always knew something was off. At 16, he was seen opening a worn envelope and whispering, "Everything I thought I knew about myself is a lie." Still, he remained silent until Charles's coronation. Watching the man he believed to be his father ascend the throne while pretending he didn't exist was, in Sebastian's words, a betrayal too deep to ignore. Determined to confirm the truth, he contacted a discreet genetics lab in Switzerland, known for handling high-profile cases. With the help of a sympathetic former palace butler, a hair sample from King Charles was discreetly obtained from a used travel comb. Chain of custody was secure, and testing was conducted under tight scrutiny. The result, a 99.97% match. There was no doubt Charles was his biological father. Sebastian's legal team didn't go to the press. Instead, they sent a sealed letter directly to King Charles. It included the DNA report, a personal message from Sebastian, and a quiet plea, "I don't want a title or fortune, any public acknowledgement of the truth." The response from Clarence House was chilling. No denial, no rebuttal, just silence. Behind the scenes, Camilla was said to be furious. Staff claimed she was pulled from scheduled appearances while palace advisors scrambled to contain the fallout. Charles, visibly shaken, offered no public comment. Aides said he looked haunted, as though a long-buried truth had finally resurfaced. Eventually, someone within the palace legal circles, angered by attempts to bury the evidence, leaked the story. Within days, headlines erupted. The monarchy, built on image and discretion, was suddenly exposed to undeniable scientific truth. No media spin, no royal protocol, no carefully crafted statement could erase what had come to light. The fairy tale had cracked, not with scandalous rumors, but with undeniable biology, and now the world waits not for more secrets but for acknowledgement, because even the most carefully guarded palace cannot keep the truth from knocking at its door forever. There was no turning back. Now the king had a son. Queen Camilla's reign, once held together by careful strategy and image management, was suddenly vulnerable. The moment the DNA results arrived at Clarence House, the atmosphere turned heavy. Staff described it as oppressive, like a thunderstorm pressing against the very foundation of the palace. For Camilla, this wasn't just a scandal, it was an attack on her identity and everything she had built. Her composure shattered when the truth seeped from behind the palace walls. At first, the signs were subtle. She abruptly cancelled a scheduled meeting with royal charities. Her security team was discreetly reassigned. A private dinner with King Charles was oddly relocated, not to the usual dining room, but two separate wings of the residence. Then came the eruption. According to several palace insiders, Camilla screamed for nearly 20 minutes upon seeing the DNA confirmation. She locked herself in her room, hurling glass and screaming at the walls. A long-serving maid was seen, leaving her quarters in tears, while another staff member admitted they had never witnessed such fury. Camilla's rage wasn't simply about the past affair, it was about what the affair had produced. Undeniable proof that Charles fathered a son who was not hers. And now the world would know. This revelation didn't just stir old wounds, it threatened to dismantle the very foundation of her legacy. For decades, Camilla had weathered the criticism, endured public disgrace as the other woman, and survived endless tabloid ridicule. But she had eventually prevailed, marrying the man she loved and standing at the king's side. Just as she was preparing to be crowned, the past returned not as whispers or rumors, but as a living, breathing man with royal DNA, a composed demeanor, and growing public sympathy. His name was Sebastian, and he had the power to unravel everything. Sources inside Clarence's house claim Camilla immediately turned to legal counsel, pushing for a public statement disputing the DNA findings, discrediting Sebastian, and threatening lawsuits against any publication daring to run the story. But Charles remained silent. His refusal to respond enraged Camilla even more. She allegedly accused him of letting Diana's memory destroy them once again. In a fit of anger, she slammed a door so hard the frame cracked. Security was stationed outside her suite, not for protection from outsiders, but to prevent her from doing more damage. Staff described her behavior as erratic, unhinged. What hurt most, reportedly, was how favorably the public viewed Sebastian. He wasn't asking for a title, demanding inheritance, or causing disruption. All he wanted was to be acknowledged. In contrast, Camilla appeared bitter, even vindictive. In a leaked voice message, Camilla reportedly confided to a close friend, "They'll paint him as the true heir. I'll look like a fraud all over again. After everything I've sacrificed." Her breakdown, some palace sources say, was the worst scene since Diana's most emotional confrontations with Charles, an explosion of grief, anxiety, and desperation. Behind the polished royal facade, Camilla was in crisis. Her fear wasn't just of scandal, it was of being replaced, not by another woman, but by a secret, a son, and a truth she couldn't erase. While Clarence's house struggled with chaos, Prince William and Princess Catherine maintained their composure. Their calm presence wasn't indifference, it was discipline. In a palace appended by a paternity revelation, William and Kate didn't panic. Instead, they withdrew into a close circle, assessed the unfolding drama, and acted with quiet calculation. According to insiders, William had long heard whispers about a possible half-brother as a child. He caught fragments of conversation, hints from palace staff, even speculation in tabloids, but without proof. They were only shadows. Now, those shadows had form, voice, and DNA to match. Privately, William was said to be disturbed but unsurprised. His primary concern wasn't for the crown, it was for his children. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis were the monarchy's future. The arrival of a secret uncle, what could muddy public perception, disrupt a fragile trust between the royal family and the people, and trigger renewed questions about succession. William, ever pragmatic, issued a clear directive to his advisors. "We do not interfere, we do not attack, we wait and prepare." His focus wasn't revenge or denial, it was stability. Kate, ever the strategist, became William's anchor. Behind palace walls, she offered hard truths and strategic counsel. She reminded him of the importance of appearing above the fray. In public, the couple maintained their usual warmth and composure, attending events, supporting causes, and engaging with the public as if the royal household wasn't teetering on the brink. But behind the scenes, Kate's team had already mobilized. Her media advisors tracked every news cycle, tweet, and video concerning Sebastian. Not to censor, but to understand. The conclusion was clear. The public wasn't angry with Sebastian. They admired his humility. Their sympathy wasn't with Camilla or even Charles. It was with the man quietly seeking truth. Calls for an official palace response grew louder with each passing day. Some speculated William might reach out to Sebastian himself. Others believed he was waiting to see whether his father would finally speak or let silence drown them all. Whatever the case, William and Kate understood what their predecessors had failed to grasp. Silence, especially in times of scandal, can be more damning than words. They had watched how the firm had mishandled Diana. They weren't about to let history repeat itself. Camilla was unraveling, Charles was retreating, and William and Kate were carefully positioning themselves to safeguard the monarchy's continuity. Their strategy was simple: stay calm, be ready, and act when the moment was right. For years, the notion of a secret son was treated as myth, a rumor exchanged in hushed tones by those who knew too much. But no longer. The DNA test proved it beyond doubt. Sebastian, once hidden in obscurity, bore the features, voice, and genetic imprint of a king. Camilla's explosive reaction may have dominated headlines, but the real story was deeper. A monarchy, built on secrets, a legacy born of denial, and a sovereign caught in silence. Sebastian may never sit on the throne, but his existence is powerful enough to shake it. The truth has come to the palace, and it cannot be silenced. The illusion of royal perfection is shattered. The story has been told, the secret is out.